The Haunted Pumpkin, a funny, spooky story for kids. Have you ever walked through a pumpkin patch so quiet you could hear your own heartbeat? What if, in that silence, you heard something else? And what if that giggle wasn't coming from your friends, but from the biggest, roundest pumpkin you'd ever seen? For three best friends, Lily, Tom, and Mia. Their Halloween adventure was about to start in that exact spot. As the sun set, it painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, like a perfect Halloween decoration. They were on the most important mission of the season: to find the perfect pumpkin. Lily, who was brave and always led the way, had heard whispers of a legendary pumpkin patch just outside town. They say Old Man Hemlock's patch has the best pumpkins in the world. She'd told Tom and Mia, her eyes wide with excitement. Mia, who secretly believed in a little bit of magic, clutched her empty trick-or-treat bag, hoping for a magical adventure. None of them had a clue that the magic they were about to find would be more silly than spooky. When they pushed open the old wooden gate, it creaked like a rusty hinge, revealing rows upon rows of pumpkins stretching out before them. The setting sun cast long, dancing shadows that looked like spooky fingers reaching out to grab them. A cool breeze rustled through the dried corn stalks, standing like silent guards at the edge of the field, making a she-she sound. Tom, trying to act brave, puffed out his chest. With its lopsided grin and button eyes, the scarecrow seemed to be watching them. Lily just laughed. "Come on. The best pumpkins are always the hardest to find," she declared, and marched right into the patch. Not wanting to be left with the creepy scarecrow, her friends hurried after her. They walked deeper and deeper into the patch, past small pumpkins, lumpy pumpkins, tall pumpkins, and warty pumpkins, until the moon began to rise, a silvery sliver in the dark sky that made everything look mysterious and new. They'd been searching for what felt like hours. Tom was starting to complain about his tired feet, and Mia was worried all the good pumpkins were already gone. "Hey, what's that?" she asked, pointing toward the very back of the patch, near a dark line of trees. At first, Lily and Tom didn't see anything, but then they did. A soft, gentle light, pulsing like a firefly. Forgetting all about their tired feet, the three friends tiptoed toward the mysterious light. It was enormous, perfectly round, and smoother than any pumpkin they'd touched. "Whoa," Tom breathed. "Old Man Hemlock, Mustave, put a light inside it. This is our pumpkin. We have to have it." The glow seemed to come from the pumpkin itself, as if it were filled with liquid sunshine. "Okay, this is going to be heavy," Tom announced, rubbing his hands together. Lily rolled her eyes and knelt, getting a good grip on the pumpkin as a sturdy stem. Tom grabbed the other side. On the count of 3, he commanded. 1, 2, 3. They heaved and they groaned, putting all their weight into it, but the pumpkin wouldn't budge. It was like it was glued to the ground. They let go, panting, and that's when they heard it. A tiny, bubbly sound. A. They all froze, looking at each other. "Was that you?" Lily asked Tom. "No? I thought it was you," Tom said to Mia. Mia just shook her head, her eyes wide. They all looked back at the pumpkin. "It sattere," glowing peacefully. "Must have been the wind," Tom said. "Tauge didn't sound very sure. Let's try again. More power this time." They grabbed the pumpkin once more and pulled with all their might. Just as they felt it start to lift, the pumpkin suddenly wiggled, twisted, and rolled right out of their hands. It tumbled a few feet away and settled, its glow seeming to brighten for a moment. And then they heard it again, louder this time, a clear, unmistakable giggle that seemed to come from all around them. The kids weren't just spooked, they were completely baffled. This was turning into a very strange night. Lily, being the bravest, took a cautious step toward the pumpkin. "Hello," she called out, her voice trembling just a bit. Is someone there?" For a moment, there was only silence. Then, a tiny, wispy shape slowly rose out of the top of the pumpkin, right through the stem. It was a ghost, But it wasn't a scary ghost at all. It was small and round, almost like a floating marshmallow, with two big, friendly eyes and a wide, cheerful smile. It looked just as surprised to see them as they were to see it. "Oh, hello," the little ghost said, its voice like tiny bells. "You found me. I was getting so bored." The three friends just stared, their mouths wide open. A real ghost living in a pumpkin. Tom was the first to find his voice. You're a ghost." The little ghosts giggled again, the same giggle they had heard before. "That's me. My name is Giggles, and I'm not a scary ghost. Scary is so boring. I'm a funny ghost." To prove his point, Giggles swirled in the air and looked at them with a mischievous twinkle in his eye. "I've got a good one for you. What do you get if you drop a pumpkin?" The kids just stared, too stunned to answer. "A squash," Giggles exclaimed, bursting into another fit of giggles. The joke was so silly and unexpected that the children's fear melted away, and they started to laugh too. A ghost who told jokes was much better than a ghost who haunted things. The friends decided that a pumpkin with a joke-telling ghost inside was way too special to carve. Instead, they sat in the grass around the glowing pumpkin to get to know their new friend. "So, you just live in here?" Mia asked, fascinated. "Yup," said Giggles. "It's cozy, but it gets a little lonely. I haven't had anyone to tell my jokes to in ages." And just like that, the night turned into a festival of spooky giggles. Gigglest was a master of harmless pranks. He'd make a nearby pumpkin wobble on its vine, then stop the moment they looked. He whispered through the corn stalks, but instead of spooky secrets, he told them silly ones. "PST, hey. Tom? The scarecrow? He wears polka dot socks under his straw." Tom glanced at the scarecrow and couldn't help but smile at the thought. Giggles would make spooky sounds that ended in funny surprises. He'd start a low, mournful ooh, like a classic ghost, but then it would turn into a loud, boobly sneeze. Asterisk. Ooh. A hatch. The kids would jump, then burst into laughter every single time. He told them joke after joke. "Why are ghosts such bad liars?" he'd ask. "Because you can see right through them." And another. "What do ghosts eat for breakfast?" Dreaded wheat. Lily, Tom, and Mia were having the time of their lives. This was better than any Halloween party. As the moon climbed higher, Giggles floated out of his pumpkin with a grand announcement. "Okay, my friends, it's time for my grand finale. My best, most spectacular joke ever. But I need your help." He told the kids to run around and gather big armfuls of the dry, colorful autumn leaves that littered the ground. They piled them high all around the glowing pumpkin. "Okay," Giggles said, his form glowing a little brighter with excitement. "When I get to the punchline, I want you all to throw the leaves as high as you can. Ready?" The kids nodded, their arms full of leaves, their faces full of anticipation. Giggles cleared his throat dramatically. "Why did the pumpkin cross the road?" He began slowly, building the suspense. The children held their breath. "Because he was a pumpkin roller." As he shouted the silly punchline, the kids tossed the leaves into the air, but something magical happened. Giggles used his ghostly energy to catch the leaves, swirling them around the children in a beautiful, sparkling tornado of red, gold, and brown. The leaves danced and twirled in the moonlight like jewels before slowly, gently floating down around them. The children laughed and spun around in the shower of leaves, their hearts full of joy. Giggles loved making his new friends laugh. After all, laughter is one of the best kinds of magic. If you love laughing too and want to hear more funny, spooky stories just like this one, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure. And tell us in the comments, what's the best joke a silly ghost could tell? But all good nights have to end, and the children knew it was time to head home. The air was getting colder, and their parents would be wondering where they were. With heavy hearts, they said goodbye to their new friend. "Thank you, Giggles," Mia said. "This was the best Halloween adventure ever." Giggles looked a little sad. "It was nice not being bored," he said quietly. "We'll come back," Tom promised. "We'll visit you next Halloween, and we'll bring new jokes," added Lily. Giggles' face lit up. "You will. That's the best treat I could ask for." As the three friends walked away from the pumpkin patch, they turned and saw Giggles' pumpkin give one last, warm pulse of light. It was a final, happy goodbye. They didn't have a pumpkin to take home and carve, but they had something much better. A wonderful secret, a night full of laughter, and the knowledge that true friendship can be found in the most unexpected and spookiest of places.